Well, Doctor Who finally got around to an entirely, well, let's say cast of color, because mostly black, but then, of course, there's Belinda and all that. But, yeah, you get that in there for the purposes, well, the Doctor still can't get Belinda back home. Oh, boy, that's the ongoing thing. Gee, what's the deal? And trying again. So he ends up in this village to go to a barber shop of a barber that he's familiar with. He's been there before. So, and that's typical of a lot of Doctor Who stories where they just say, hey, I've been here and there, even though you've been with this regeneration from the beginning. But in between episodes and stuff, I guess, is when things happen and all that. So, same thing here. So, it goes to find the guy, but something's up, and that's, you're off to the games and everything. Well, it turns out the barbershop has been taken over by gods. Yeah, it's not really a barbershop anymore. Well, it still is, but it's also attached to another dimension where this character wants revenge on the gods, and he's created a World Wide Web. Well, it's an actual web, cosmic web that his giant mechanical spider crawls on, and to keep the engine of this entity going, he needs a constant supply of stories, the emotions that generates, feeds, the beast. And so he puts people in the barbershop chair and gives them a haircut, and they have to tell a story. While they're sitting there getting their hair cut. And then afterwards, the hair grows back immediately because, you got to constantly get it cut. So there's a bunch of guys there, they're stuck, and there's this mysterious barber and what you would assume is his wife or girlfriend or whatever, and all that sort of stuff. Well, the whole thing's revealed. The Doctor walks in, doesn't realize what he's walked into, and he ends up getting in the chair, and you got to have him tell his story, so you get the story of Belinda and a bit of his narratives and whatnot. But, oh boy, the mysterious woman, he recognized her. He's seen that face before and all this sort of thing. And you think, oh, well, could she be someone from the Doctor's past? Well, obviously he's saying she is. But wow, is she a Time Lord? Could this be their new Romana or something like that? Nah, she's just some character he met previously. But in another incarnation. Oh, here comes the rumored cameo from Joe Martin's Fugitive Doctor, And remember, she was the first black doctor that Chibnall cast her so they could set up the Timeless Child and all that, just so he could have that headline that he cast the first doctor of color and that sort of thing. Saying, look at me. And she got one episode. And then a brief cameo later. And I guess, yeah, she's got the Big Finish is giving her stories and stuff like that, And then just off camera, they suddenly announced, well, actually, she's the first Doctor, Makes no sense at all. I mean, the Doctor goes through all this, but his memory gets erased, and somehow the TARDIS turns into a police box again. I know, you're thinking all the way back to Unearthly Child is when the TARDIS got stuck in the police box appearance. Oh, no, it had done this before. I guess for the same reason, it just, whenever it gets in that shape, it just like, oh boy, I really don't want to change again. I don't know. So anyway, she makes her appearance because you got to explain who this mysterious woman is and all that sort of stuff. Well, it's all done in a matter of seconds. Yeah, not even a minute. That's what they do with their oh so brilliant, oh so progressive move of a woman they tokenized. So, hey, do it again, you know? Because, look, it's an all people of color cast. So they can exploit all them, too. And so the story is, giant spider, gods, and, the mysterious woman, she's the goddess. The other guy was like, I don't know, he'd been a servant of the gods or whatever. I don't know. But in the end, boy, he's doing all this. He's tormented these guys who are, the rest of the village believes have gone missing, but they're all in that barbershop and they can't leave because they had to keep coming up with stories to feed the monster and all that sort of stuff. So, eventually it all breaks down. The doctor runs around, sonic screwdriver, this or that. Who cares? And then the villain, he just says, you messed up, but maybe now you could just be a real barber and, make amends by being a contributor to the village or what have you. So, yeah, okay. So he takes over the barbershop from the doctor's friend who is, getting old and ready to retire. And so everything is fine. And, there was a mysterious child that Linda saw, but the doctor didn't. So who's this? I don't know. Maybe that was the original doctor, because the doctor was a recruit. The little girl that Tectuine found, she immediately, it had an accident. One of the nasty Time Lord Gallifreyan kids, whatever, threw her off a cliff. And but then she regenerated, and so then Tectuine says, "Oh wow, this is cool. Let me do experiments and kill this kid over and over again to create Time Lords." So that's how that happened. So I don't know who the mysterious girl is, unless she's another version of Mrs. Flood, who supposedly is going to turn out to be the Ronnie. So maybe that's the deal. What it doesn't matter. It's all that mattered was look, see, yeah. So anyway, I guess there's a giant carcass of a spider thing somewhere. Yeah.